the exercise secretly destroying your knees. After 60, I am a joint surgeon. For more than 20 years, I have operated on thousands of people over the age of 60. And if I have learned one painful truth, it is this. The world's most common so-called healthy exercise is quietly sending millions of older adults straight to the operating table. The cause is not genetics or bad luck. It is a habit praised too often and questioned too little. Walking. We were all told that walking protects the heart, strengthens the legs, and keeps us healthy for life. Yet inside the operating room, the evidence tells another story. I see knees that grind like sandpaper, hips that have lost their cushion, and spines that have slowly collapsed forward from years of repetitive movement without real muscle support. Walking is not the villain, but walking alone is not enough. It is like polishing the hood of your car while ignoring the flat tires. The surface may shine, but the wheels still fail beneath you. The fitness industry has built a $300 billion empire around this illusion. Shoe brands, step counters, fitness trackers, even supplement companies depend on the idea that 10,000 steps will save your health. The result is a generation of seniors who walk faithfully every day and still end up in surgery. So, if walking is not enough, what actually protects your joints and keeps your body young? Recent studies from Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and the University of Tokyo all point to 5 specific movements that outperform walking by a wide margin. These 5 are simple, safe, and proven by orthopedic science to rebuild muscle, protect the skeleton, and reverse the loss of balance that accelerates with age. Today we begin with the first 3. Together they can restore strength, stability, and independence, even if you have been inactive for years. Stay with me until the end, because one of them reduces your risk of falling by nearly half. And that single change could mean the difference between lifelong freedom and a hospital bed. Wall push-ups and the return of upper body strength. One of the things I hear most often from my older patients is a simple wish. They do not want to run marathons or lift heavy weights. They just want to open a jar, push a door, or lift a grandchild without pain. Those small moments define true strength, and walking alone will never create it. In a study by the American College of Sports Medicine, adults over 60 who performed wall push-ups 3 times per week increased their upper body strength by more than 1/3 in 8 weeks. The group that only walked improved by barely 7%. Walking moves the lower half of your body, but the wall push-up works the muscles that protect your daily movement: the chest, shoulders, arms, and most importantly, the deep core muscles that stabilize your entire frame when you stumble or need to push yourself up. The method is simple. Stand 1 arm's length from a wall. Place your palms flat at shoulder height. Inhale as you lean toward the wall until your nose almost touches it. Then exhale as you press back, keeping your body in a straight line from head to heel. As you get stronger, take a small step back to increase the challenge. It is gentle, but incredibly powerful. Research from Cleveland Clinic found that maintaining upper body strength after 60 lowers the risk of shoulder injuries by over 40%. Margaret, a retired teacher age 68, once struggled to open pickle jars. After a month of daily wall push-ups, she could do it effortlessly and noticed her posture improving as well. This movement also improves bone density in the arms and shoulders, areas that weaken fastest in osteoporosis. Every wall in your home can be a personal gym. Each push is a quiet reminder that your strength still belongs to you. Chair squats and the power of standing up. I often tell my rehabilitation patients a simple truth. If you cannot stand up from a chair on your own, you have already given away part of your freedom. The chair squat, the controlled act of sitting and standing, is the most practical and powerful exercise for independence. Researchers from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who practice controlled chair squats improved their standing speed by 43% and reduced long-term disability risk by 38% within 2 years. The process is straightforward. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair with your feet shoulder-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest to avoid pushing with your hands. Inhale deeply, then press through your heels and rise to a full standing position. Keep your chest lifted and your spine neutral. Now lower yourself slowly, counting 3 or 4 seconds down. That slow return is where the magic happens. It is called eccentric training. Your muscles must resist gravity, creating strength faster and with less strain on the heart than quick movements. The large muscles in the front of your thighs shrink faster with age than any others, losing up to 40% of their size between 50 and 80. Weak quadriceps mean struggling to get out of chairs, cars, or even bed. But the chair squat reverses this process. It builds the very muscles that let you rise and move freely. Robert, 71, once needed both arms to lift himself from his recliner. 3 months later, after daily practice, he could stand smoothly and even lift his granddaughter into his arms. He said it best. This exercise did not just make me stronger. It gave me back my confidence. What surprised researchers even more was the brain benefit. When your legs get stronger, circulation to the brain increases. The National Institute on Aging found that older adults with greater leg strength also show better memory and sharper reasoning. Movement strengthens the mind as much as the body. Every time you stand up from a chair with purpose, you are sending a message to time itself. I still decide when I rise. Single leg stands and the secret of balance. Now let me ask you to try something. Stand up, lift 1 foot an inch from the ground, and hold that position for 10 seconds. If you can do that without wobbling, your biological age may be 7 years younger than the number on your birth certificate. If you struggle to hold the pose, your body is sending a warning. Balance is fading, and with it comes a cascade of weakness and fear of falling. The Mayo Clinic followed adults over 70 and discovered that those who could balance on one leg for 10 seconds were 50% less likely to die from any cause over the next 7 years. Balance, quite literally, predicts how long and how well you live. When you practice single leg standing, 3 systems work together. The vestibular system in your inner ear that controls orientation, the visual system that guides where you are in space, and the proprioceptive system, the network of sensors in your muscles and joints that constantly tell your brain where your body is. With age, these systems stop communicating clearly. Balance training rewires them. Every time you lift 1 foot, your brain creates new pathways, strengthening coordination, posture, and reflexes. Start near a counter or wall for safety. Lift 1 foot just slightly, hold for 10 seconds, and place it down gently. Once you can do this easily, close your eyes or turn your head side to side to challenge your brain even more. A study in the British Medical Journal showed that seniors who practiced this daily for 5 minutes reduced fall risk by over 1/3 and improved walking speed by 12%. Walking speed is now recognized as a vital sign of health, as important as blood pressure. Dorothy, 74, had stopped going out after a minor fall. She began daily balance training, and 6 weeks later, she joined a local hiking group. She said she no longer feared falling because she trusted her legs again. Each time you balance on one leg, you remind your body that it can still adapt. You remind your mind that you are not fragile. You are alive, present, and steady. These 3 movements form the foundation of lifelong mobility. Wall push-ups rebuild the upper body that protects you. Chair squats rebuild the legs that lift you. Single leg balance reconnects the brain that guides you. Together, they awaken strength you thought you had lost. In the next part, we will move deeper. You will learn how to straighten your posture, reawaken your spine, and even train your brain to move younger than ever before. Stay until the end, because what comes next may be the difference between relying on a cane and walking tall for decades to come. The posture comeback. When you walk through any park or shopping center, you can tell who has surrendered to aging before they even speak. It is in the way their back bends, their shoulders collapse forward, and their head tilts down as if gravity itself has won the battle. That shape of the body has a name. It is called kyphosis, and it is not just about appearance. It changes breathing, digestion, balance, even confidence. Research from the University of California showed that seniors with a hunched posture were more than 3 times as likely to need daily assistance, and their mortality rates were 44% higher than those who stood upright. When you lose posture, you lose space inside your body. The lungs cannot expand fully, the diaphragm cannot move freely, and oxygen delivery drops. The good news is that posture can be rebuilt, not by stretching harder or forcing the spine straight, but by strengthening the muscles that hold you upright. That is where the resistance band row becomes a quiet revolution. Imagine tying a soft elastic band to a doorknob or any stable surface at chest height. You step back until the band is slightly tense, then pull the handles gently toward your ribs, squeezing your shoulder blades together as if you were trying to hold a coin between them. That single action trains the rhomboids, the middle trapezius, and the rear deltoids, the forgotten muscles of aging. They are the reason a young soldier stands tall and an elderly man begins to fold forward. Unlike walking, which moves the body vertically, this pulling motion restores horizontal balance. It realigns the shoulder blades, relieves neck strain, and teaches the spine to stay neutral. The more you do it, the easier it becomes to breathe deeply, digest comfortably, and move confidently. George, a 69-year-old accountant, used to spend most of his day hunched over his desk. He could not look up without pain. After 2 months of resistance band training, his friends started commenting that he looked taller and younger. His energy improved. He told me it was not just his back that changed. His entire mood lifted. Studies published in rehabilitation journals confirm his experience. Older adults who practiced resistance band rows 3 times a week improved posture measurements by over 3 inches and reduced chronic back pain by nearly 60%. Lung capacity increased by almost a quarter because the chest could finally expand again. Posture is not vanity. It is the shape of health itself. Each time you draw that band toward you, you are not only pulling your shoulders back, you are pulling your future upright. Tai Chi and the rewiring of the aging brain. Now imagine the opposite of the noisy gym, the counting, the sweat, and the mirrors. Picture instead a quiet courtyard at dawn. The air is cool, the light is soft, and a group of elders move slowly, almost weightlessly, through a series of deliberate motions. To the untrained eye, it looks like a dance in slow motion. In reality, it is one of the most advanced neurological training systems on Earth. This is Tai Chi, and it may be the closest thing we have to an antidote for aging. Researchers at Harvard Medical School followed more than 1,000 seniors for 5 years and discovered that those who practiced Tai Chi for 20 minutes, 3 times a week, cut their risk of falling by almost half. But that was only the surface. Brain scans showed growth of gray matter in the motor cortex, the hippocampus, and the prefrontal cortex areas that control movement, memory, and decision-making. Why does this happen? Because every Tai Chi movement combines balance, coordination, attention, and breath. It asks the body and mind to communicate constantly. When you shift your weight from one leg to another, when you rotate your torso in rhythm with your breath, your brain is forced to adapt. It creates new neural pathways, keeps synapses alive, and builds cognitive reserve. Doctors at Emory University found that seniors who practiced Tai Chi reacted to visual stimuli as fast as people 20 years younger. Their walking speed stayed 30% higher after a decade of training. Another study in the New England Journal of Medicine showed that Tai Chi reduced knee pain and improved joint function more effectively than traditional physical therapy. One of my patients, Barbara, was 77 when she first came to me. She had fallen twice in 1 year and was terrified of falling again. Her daughter convinced her to join a Tai Chi class. 3 years later, she has not fallen once. She moves with a grace she never had, even in her 50s. What makes Tai Chi so powerful is its dual nature. It is gentle enough for frail bodies, yet demanding enough to keep the nervous system alert. It lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone that accelerates muscle loss and weakens the immune system. It teaches deep breathing that massages the organs and restores blood flow. It even helps maintain bone density, slowing the natural loss that steals height and stability over time. And perhaps most importantly, it brings joy. In a world where many seniors exercise alone, Tai Chi reconnects people through rhythm and shared movement. That social bond is medicine too. Those who practice together show lower rates of depression and dementia compared to those who train alone. Movement, when combined with mindfulness, does more than build strength. It rebuilds presence. Every slow turn, every breath, every shift of weight is a message to the brain. You are still learning. You are still alive. Integration of body and mind. We have now rebuilt the major foundations of health. Strength through the wall push-up, independence through the chair squat, balance through the single leg stand, posture through the resistance band row, neural renewal through Tai Chi. But the final step is not physical. It is the integration of body and mind, understanding that movement is not something you do to stay young. It is something you do to stay conscious. Aging begins not in the joints, but in the loss of awareness between thought and motion. The day you stop paying attention to how you move is the day decline begins. That is why every program I design for my patients ends with stillness. We call it strategic awareness. After your exercises, stand quietly. Place one hand on your chest, one on your abdomen. Breathe in through your nose and feel both hands rise together. Then exhale slowly. Notice the pause between breaths. That pause is where healing happens. Neurologically, this short reflection time allows the nervous system to switch from stress mode to recovery mode. It lowers blood pressure, resets heart rate, and releases muscle tension. You do not need to meditate for an hour. 2 or 3 minutes of still awareness after movement can transform how your brain records the exercise. It changes it from mechanical repetition to embodied learning. One of my oldest patients, Arthur, 91 years old, told me he spends those moments visualizing light filling his spine. He said it keeps him calm for the entire day. Science agrees. Visualization strengthens the same neural circuits used in actual physical movement. Even imagining balance improves real balance. The mind cannot always tell the difference. The combination of resistance, coordination, and conscious breathing forms what modern research now calls neurokinetic integration. It is what makes the difference between someone who simply exercises and someone who evolves. The results are visible: stronger muscles, clearer thinking, steadier steps. But there is also a quieter change, a sense of ownership, the feeling that your body, though aging, still belongs to you. The human body is astonishingly forgiving. It can rebuild lost muscle in weeks, restore bone density in months, and grow new neural pathways for as long as you live. What it cannot rebuild is time wasted believing decline is inevitable. Every day you practice these movements, you are voting for the body you want to live in 10 years from now. You are not training to survive aging. You are training to master it. And when you finish your session, do not rush away. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and thank your body. Gratitude itself changes physiology. Heart rate slows, cortisol falls, and serotonin rises. You end the cycle in the same calm strength that you began it. The next time someone tells you that aging is simply decline, remember this truth. The body is not a candle that burns out. It is a flame that can be fed. With the right movements, the right attention, and the right spirit, you can rebuild power, posture, and presence at any age. These are not exercises. They are acts of self-respect. They are how you keep walking not away from aging, but forward into a stronger, steadier life. The new science of reversal. For most of history, aging was seen as a one-way road decline, weakness, frailty, and finally stillness. But the last decade has changed everything we thought we knew about the human body. Scientists are now proving that aging is not a straight fall, but a series of switches that can be turned on and off through behavior, movement, and thought. Inside every muscle fiber and brain cell lives a set of genes called longevity genes. They control repair, inflammation, and energy production. When you stop challenging your body, those genes go silent. When you move with intention, they awaken. It is as if the body has been waiting for a signal to remember its own design. In clinical trials, older adults who began resistance and balance programs after years of inactivity showed increases in muscle mass equal to those of people in their 30s. Bone scans revealed new density forming in areas once considered irreversibly weakened. Even the mitochondria, the tiny engines that power every cell, began producing more energy after just 12 weeks of targeted movement. Researchers at Copenhagen University found something even more remarkable. When seniors incorporated conscious breathing and slow resistance exercises similar to the ones in this program, their cellular age markers telomere length actually lengthened. In simple terms, their bodies became biologically younger. These changes do not come from intensity or exhaustion. They come from precision and consistency. A 20-minute daily session that challenges coordination, strength, and calm awareness produces more measurable change than 2 hours of mechanical exercise performed without focus. Every movement you have learned so far is a switch. The wall push-up tells your arms to protect you again. The chair squat reminds your legs that they are engines, not ornaments. The balance drill teaches your brain to map space again. The posture row invites your spine to open and breathe. And Tai Chi restores communication between body and mind. The combination of these movements does more than prevent decline. It rewires the body's code. You are not fighting time. You are upgrading how your cells interpret it. One of my colleagues, an orthopedic surgeon in Tokyo, often says this to his patients. You cannot buy youth, but you can rent it through movement. Every repetition renews your lease. Building your daily blueprint. Now that you know the principles, let us turn them into a living routine. Not a strict schedule, but a daily rhythm that fits inside real life. Begin in the morning, before the day steals your energy. Start with a slow inhale through the nose, a gentle roll of the shoulders back, and a stretch of the spine as if you were greeting sunlight for the first time. The goal is to awaken circulation, not to exhaust it. Move to the wall and perform your push-ups with calm control. Feel the weight of your body transferring through your hands. Sense the support of the ground beneath your feet. 2 or 3 minutes is enough to send a signal through your entire nervous system. From there, step toward a sturdy chair. Practice rising and sitting with steady rhythm. Each time you rise, imagine that you are standing up for your independence. Each time you sit, imagine that you are returning to rest on your own terms. Then stand beside that same chair and lift one foot slightly off the floor. Breathe deeply. Feel the tiny adjustments your body makes to keep you centered. This is your conversation with gravity. When you feel stable, switch sides. Once your body is warm, attach your resistance band and perform a few slow rows. Pull, hold for a moment, release with intention. Let your shoulder blades glide and slide until they find their natural position. You may feel taller already. Finish with a few minutes of Tai Chi or simple mindful movement. The form does not have to be perfect. What matters is awareness. Shift your weight slowly. Breathe through each transition. Let your thoughts dissolve into the motion. This entire sequence can take 15 to 20 minutes. Done every day. It touches every major system of the body: muscular, skeletal, cardiovascular, neurological. You will notice the first changes within 2 weeks: steadier balance, better sleep, lighter steps. Within 2 months, you will breathe deeper, move smoother, and feel a quiet confidence return. Keep a small notebook nearby. Write down how your body feels each day. The act of noticing creates commitment. When you read back after several weeks, you will see the difference not only in your body, but in your language. The words tired and sore will start to disappear. They will be replaced by strong, steady, balanced. This blueprint is not a prescription. It is an invitation and open doorway back to the life you were meant to move through with ease. The science supports it. The body responds to it. All that remains is your decision to begin. Reclaiming time, not just years. Every patient who walks into my office carries 2 clocks. One is the clock of age, measured in birthdays and calendars. The other is the clock of function, measured in strength, breath, and grace. The first you cannot control. The second you can reset at any moment. Most people begin too late because they wait for pain. They believe movement is for the young, yet it is movement that keeps you young. Even the frailest patient I have ever treated improved within weeks of starting gentle strength work. The body wants to heal. It only needs permission. Think of your muscles as memories. When you stop using them, they fade. When you call on them again, they answer. The same is true for balance, for coordination, for hope. The sooner you start, the sooner you remember what it feels like to trust your body again. I once asked a 90-year-old yogi what his secret was. He smiled and said, "I never stopped greeting the morning with movement. My joints are old, but my energy is still curious." That is the heart of longevity curiosity. Movement keeps curiosity alive. It reminds you that you can still learn, adapt, improve, and that mental flexibility is the greatest predictor of health. There is another gift in these exercises. They build not only the body, but the bond between generations. When your grandchildren see you squat, balance, and breathe calmly, they see aging differently. You become proof that strength does not expire. You teach them resilience without saying a word. Aging gracefully is not about hiding wrinkles or chasing youth. It is about expressing vitality at every stage. A well-moving elder changes how a community thinks about time. You become a living example that the human body, even in its later chapters, is capable of poetry. So when you finish your practice tomorrow morning, take a slow breath and look at your reflection. Stand tall, shoulders open, eyes steady. Say quietly to yourself, I am not getting old. I am getting efficient. I am learning how to live inside this body with skill. You do not need expensive machines or miracle pills. You need intention, repetition, and patience. The walls of your home, the chair in your living room, the floor beneath your feet, these are your tools. With them, you can write a new story of aging, one movement at a time. Start today. Save tomorrow. The story of aging is changing. The question is no longer how long we live, but how well we move through the years we are given. Every exercise you have learned here is more than a movement. It is a declaration. The wall push-up says, I will not let my upper body fade. The chair squat says, I will stand on my own. The balance drill says, I will not fear the ground. The band row says, I will face the world upright. Tai Chi says, I am still connected to every breath and heartbeat of life. When you practice these together, you are writing a message to your future self. You are saying, I choose strength over stagnation. I choose calm over chaos. I choose life over decline. In my years as a surgeon, I have seen two kinds of aging. The first is passive waiting for pills, waiting for appointments, waiting for help. The second is active moving daily, learning continuously, adapting gracefully. The second group almost never ends up in my operating room. So start today, not next week, not after the holidays, not when you feel ready. Begin now. 10 minutes of mindful movement can change how your body feels for the rest of the day. A week can change how you sleep. A month can change your posture. A year can change your destiny. When this video ends, take a moment. Place your hand on your heart and breathe. That is where your power begins, not in your muscles, but in your decision to use them. Every day is a new chance to rebuild what time has taken. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are exactly on time. And if this message has touched you, share it. Someone out there needs to remember that it is still possible to feel strong, balanced, and alive again. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your comeback. Stand tall, breathe deeply, move with purpose, and remember, strength is not what you have. It is what you practice.